not a big day ahead of us, honestly. We don't have a lot of news for today. I will go ahead and do a quick weekend review just so we can see what is going on for this week. Okay. So right now it's 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have a week ahead of us where we have some trades to be made. Why isn't this going to a layout that I want? I think it's here. This week. Perfect. Eso que sí es. Eso sí que es. There we go. Alright, so Monday. That's not our week. Go back. 1 week. This week. Apply changes. Alright, so today, Monday, we do not have too much noise in the market. Tuesday's looking pretty much the same thing. Very low impact events. Up Tuesday, actually, we have CPI in Australia and President Trump speaking at 10 p.m. So those could be very key events that we could watch in other markets and then our own market. Usually when Trump speaks, he does make a lot of movement, a lot of ruckus inside of the markets. He is a disruptor. All right, so with that being said, the rest of the week, core PPI is very important. That's how the Fed measures inflation. So that's going to be very important to look at by Friday. But until then, we're going to have to sit on our hands and try to find an easy moving trade this week in the markets. This is going to be something that most traders don't understand because you do have to sit on your hands sometimes and make sure that you're not taking bad trades. So for those of you guys who are not following, Trump has declared, or I guess stepped up a lot of military personnel inside of Mexico in Puerto Vallarta. Yep, and it is starting to show. I mean, he has basically a open war and oops, sorry. So Trump, by the way, just to give you guys a recap of what I said while Mike went out, he declared basically like an open war on the cartels of Mexico. So there is mayhem in the fucking streets right now. Not good for not bullish for people in Mexico right now. I'm very sad to see that, but I hope everybody in Mexico stays safe, especially my family during this time. And it has to happen. The cartels have to go. They have to know that. Okay. Yeah, like look at this. It's terrible. Crazy. I'm not a big fan of her, to be honest. kind of shocking to me that a Mexican president is Jewish in a predominantly Christian neighborhood. Anyways, that's pretty much our news. I mean, I'm looking. That's very weird. I mean, I'm all for team spirit, but he kind of has a job where he needs to be focused on the United States rather than drinking beers and pounding it in front of videos. Okay. That's retarded. Okay. So with that being said, I mean, cartels in Mexico are getting targeted. Nothing we can do about that, but just stay vigilant. Markets may be moved in that time. I mean, El Salvador did it when they were targeting MS-13. So maybe this would clean up the streets with them. So we'll see. We'll definitely see how this is going to what this is going to happen, you know. Damn, that's so sad to see, honestly. All right, another trade that I'm looking at right now. Remember, I said to you guys very clearly I was looking at shorts on Pippin. We are approaching that level. We had a large downturn. Now it's coming back to that 1-to-1 ratio on the Fibonacci sequence. So I'm going to keep my eyes and monitor on this trade this week. As far as other trades inside of the cryptocurrency market, you guys already know how to do it. We go into the filters. We filter for the exchange that we're trying to go for. BitUnis is mine. 7 days. Not really loving any of these. I like to find cryptocurrencies that are above 50%, and none of these kind of meet the mark here. So we'll probably pass on that. I'll just take a look at the first one. You don't need a lot of trades, you just need one. Morpho. See what's going on with this. 4 hour. Yeah, as you can see, the charts are chopping more sideways than giving us a trade opportunity here. Yeah, it's not close to where I would want to take a short on this. So we'll keep an eye on it, but that's that. Now it's our market in review. For those of you guys joining, we had a huge win on gold. Remember, on Friday I had said we're going to be bullish above the 567 area, and overall the gold charts were predominantly bullish throughout the weekend. So that's about a 120 point move on gold. I know that Florida is now moving back to the gold standard. I talked about this in a lot of other videos. You guys have to listen. You have to pay attention to the other videos. Sorry, let's get some light here. You guys have to pay attention to the other videos because I do put a lot of important information on why we would be going back to the gold standard here. And this is a very important part of our markets now. Is gold is at a price that I talked to old timers about this. They would have never imagined the price of gold being at $5,000. But here we are, and this is where prices, it's outperforming Bitcoin, it's outperforming the markets. Gold is here to stay for now, especially in times of high uncertainty. So this is a really good investment to have, especially if you are day trading, because of how many opportunities it's been presenting itself throughout just this year and last year alone. MNQ. We kind of are trading sideways on MNQ. Look at that. Just level to level inside of the levels that we've created a couple of weeks ago. I haven't changed the levels per se because there really isn't a story to tell here. I'm going to be honest with you. I tried to stay in a way and avoid these kinds of markets, especially in times where we chop around sideways with no news, because then what's going to be like the driving factor inside of the markets? There really is no critical driving factors that are going to push price in a direction. Maybe we can make, a short term trade that would be a little bit more on the gambling side, but that's not what trading's about. Like, the chop here is maybe we would go along over 2155, but the high basically is at a very hard resistance at 2155. So today maybe we target those longs over 24959, and we would try to trade it up to that level of 25,140. But we wouldn't get stuck in the trade. We want to basically have enough grace to just get in and out of trades today. Maybe 50-point moves with tight stop losses below the support or resistance line that it's touching for the day. This is evident in what price action has been trading at. We don't want to get locked inside of a trade then get stuck. So we have very tight moves today. This one is about 70 points up, 50 points down, chopping sideways for the past week, right? This is not evident of continuous price action pushing it up further and further. This is more of like it's range bound trading in between two levels of a large spread, which is dangerous for most traders, because unless you feel comfortable inside of these markets, it's more of a gambling trade than it is going to be day trading in general. So Mez, kind of the same story here. We're chopping around two important levels right now. We're in between a level, so both of these right now, well, minus MNQ, one is trading in between a level, and then one is at a support or a now resistance level. So will we get that flip today? I'm not 100% sure. We're above the VWAP and the EMAs on the 5-minute. It looks like we're the same on the 15-minute right now. And to be honest with you, it's not strong. It doesn't have relative strength, and we're kind of battling this resistance. We got market open in 10 minutes as well. Let's see what the tech stocks are showing us on the markets, because that's very important. Did I actually get into a trade? I probably got into a trade, and I actually probably got negative. I'm just looking right now. Yeah, no good. I didn't set a stop loss here. 8 grand's not that much, but I'm gonna close this for the time being. I don't like to have trades open. I'm surprised that actually opened, and I forgot to close it over the weekend. But it's okay. This is just a practice trading account, so you know I just practice my trades there with no stress about the outcome of how that works. Okay. Let's take a look to see if there's any other news. Okay. Just texting my wife. Okay, so here's the catch on the markets with the tech stocks. Chopping sideways on a decline on Apple. Trading very sideways right now, so very undecided. That's one undecided. Apple or Amazon is in an overall uptrend. Yeah, since 5 days it's been trending up. Sideways on Apple. Sideways on AVGO. Google is trending up, so 2 sideways, 2 up. Meta has been on a slow uptrend, but it hasn't had strong relative strength. It's very low volume right now, so I'd say that's more 3 sideways, to be honest with you. To be expected. It's not a big news day today, so I think that markets are probably going to take it very easy and slow today. That in itself is just a very divided market. So if we have 3 and 3 right now that's going on, here I'll show you guys. Sorry, I should have been breaking down in front of you. If we have 3 of the markets right now that are trending sideways, so you can see sideways market, uptrend, sideways, 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 trending down, Microsoft. I honestly hope this goes to 0 though. Won't happen. Then the markets are just telling a story for us to pay attention to. Nvidia, uptrend, very sideways. Sideways and uptrend is basically the theme of today's markets, and Tesla is chopping sideways. So I would be very vigilant in making a trade today. That would be more of a forced trade, which would not be too interesting to me. Let's just take a look at the futures market here. Silver outperforming everything. Orange juice down big. See, gold and silver. Gold, natural gas, heating oil, all doing really good. And these are literally things I've told people to invest in for months now. So I'll be right back. I'm gonna use the restroom real quick, and we'll wait for the market to open. All right, let's see how the market's going to open. Bullish morning candle. Apple is coming in with a lot of volume, a lot of green volume. AVGO, same story. I do not trade the first candle, no matter what, but we have 5 of the 8 that are bullish right now. No matter what, I do not trade this first candle. It is dangerous. 5 minutes. That's how much I give myself in order to make the market, or to not trade the froth in the market. Okay, so another trick here is drawing a trend line to see how far off you are from the trend. So right now, trend is our friend, especially in sideways markets. So how do we become successful in a sideways market, right? Well, there are 2 trends here, right? One that was broken from the high side, or the high side to the low side, right? And it's evident right now that it wants to keep pushing forward. But what are we battling right now? The trend that's pushing us down. The trend that is pointing us up is from the low point to the next higher low to the next higher low. So you can see it's evident right now. This would be something as kind of a disjointed channel in the markets, right? Giving us a squeeze Monday morning. So what we're looking for in the markets is very important. We're looking for a close now that would indicate and signal that price action is going to continue going bullish for the day, or at least for the next few minutes, so that we can make our trade. It's important that you use this time to set your quantities on your trades. It's important this time to not feel that you must make a trade in the market, but instead be patient here. Wait for the 46 seconds to close in this 5-minute candle. That 41 seconds is counting down 5-minute candles, right? The broader picture of the markets right now are sideways, especially if you're looking at it from a top-down approach, right? Sideways markets. No indication that really going long here would be beneficial for you, especially since you're underneath the heaviest EMAs. You're above the VWAP, below the heaviest EMAs, you can see why taking a trade here would be more forced than it would be beneficial for our portfolio. We don't want to force trades, but we want to be able to make some money for the day. So you see the traders that went long there, they just got faked out. Now we're closing back underneath this trend line, right? I'm literally breaking down how this would work. That's why I say it's very important to sit on your hands when trading level to level. What price action might do, and what's most applicable here to entering a trade, is it pulls back to this support, and we want to see what it does on this support. Maybe it breaks down for a small trade for 30 points. That's okay. We like those, right? We take what we can get with the market sometimes. This isn't a planned script that we can read off of, so we got to read the picture that it's giving us. It's squeezing right now in this disjointed channel between two trend lines. I showed you how to draw those trend lines and how to be successful in understanding the markets in in the futures markets. We planned and had all of our trades ready. So I have my contracts ready on both of my prop firms, right? Ready to trade. I'm taking patience here, waiting for the break and retest of 959, right? Because if we can get down to this level to 959, maybe I can take an entry at that level, which would be our buy better price. Remember, we're making higher lows here, so price is favoring micro bullish, right? But the overall trend in the markets is very choppy sideways. So that's not giving me any sort of interest to go long. What I would probably wait for is to see how it battles the 9 EMA, to see if it pushes it back up. That would be a strong indication that we are still bullish, and price action will most often break the trend line that's pushing it down than the trend line that's pushing it up, right? That would be an indication that I'm also getting the buy better price inside of MNQ right now. So I'm not leaving money on the table. It's all about entries here. So we might get this touch. It's really pushing down. Probably looking for a touch right here so I can add an alert. Choppy, choppy, choppy. So what was once bullish in the markets, right? On Apple, on Broadcom. Apple is still kind of a little bit bullish. Amazon is coming down. AVGO is bullish. Google is micro bullish, not with relative strength. Meta's pulling back a little bit, losing some steam. Microsoft's coming down. Nvidia is trading a little bit under what it was trading high this morning. So a very divided market. We have 3 to 4 right now, so I would rate this maybe a C minus trade setup. You can see why it's sometimes sitting on your hands is the best place. There may not be a trade this morning. We'll give it an hour. We'll see how it goes. But don't feel like we have to go and force a trade. That's where you blow accounts. That's the second attempt that has tried to break that trend line. Yeah, it's struggling. Still waiting for that break or that test of that support level. See if we could stay above it. I will set an alert here. Yep. Oh wow, my alarm did not go off. Speaking of alarms. So now we're at that position where I would have wanted to take a entry, but I'm not loving that. We're in a P3, so shorts would be favored here. If it breaks this line, I would probably be interested in getting into shorts, but I don't want to be faked out, so I want to close below. See, this is why I told you guys to be patient, right? Trend is now favoring shorts. Choppy. So in the first 12 minutes of the market, how many people took a trade there and got wicked out? I would say a good amount of people. This is a market that you really don't want to trade. I mean, I can't explain it well enough for you. You have to be so quick to make these kinds of trades. And like I looked down for 1 second and the stock market changed its direction. We were first bullish in the market. I remember I said that this was a C plus setup at best. And the reason that I said C plus setup is because it's going to wick out a lot of traders between this squeeze section. We would have typically wanted to take shorts below a certain level in the market, right? So below that 24,959 was where I would have taken my shorts or decided that trend was going to continue upwards because it would have tested, and without a breaking the 959 level, I would have then said, okay, we're going to make a new high and this will be the higher low, right? But this is a pure example of how quickly the markets can wick. You get stuck in a buy limit trade and then get stopped out because it's now 30 points or 40 points underneath your stop loss, right? And that would have just been a waste of money. We don't want to be in a position where we're wasting money. Now, the story though on tech stocks is changing, right? So Amazon is now coming down. Apple is now coming down. We're not at equilibrium yet, but now 1, 2, 3, 4 stocks are pointing down, 5 stocks are pointing down. So do I go long in this market? No. What we do is we wait. We're going to see if we can break this trend line down, and we're going to ride the shorts, right? Very, very important. So no trade yet. We're watching the markets. We're seeing exactly how the markets are reacting at these levels. It's been very wicky. Like it will wick one way, turn, wick the other way. Mr. Widwicky. You can see now on the 2-minute, we're now getting that continuation sweep. So look, I'll take the short here. Right? Now that we're closing below that level, I'm going to hold strong through the short. Shit, I forgot to set that with a stop loss. I'm going to close that and reopen it because I did not set my trade with the prerequisites. That's why I said it's so important in the morning to go through your trades, to go through your sections of your trading, so that you can make sure that you're not getting into a position where you don't have stop losses set. And just waiting for this to maybe go green. We're getting that continuation though, right? So you see the continuation here. We're underneath the EMA, we're underneath the VWAP. There's no reason for me to exit this trade, truthfully, right? I exited that trade, and the reason I exited that trade was because, that's right, I did not have a stop loss. That's not within my trading plan. What I typically do is a 3-to-1 ratio. I want to target this lower level now, maybe 50 points, right? I don't need the whole pie. I just need a piece, right? You can see I exited that trade at a good time as well because now we're wicking back up, giving me a better entry point.
Filled.
Right? Now I'll re-enter the trade with my stop loss in place. I want to see continuation here, not pushing back up. I don't like how that's wicking on the 1 minute.
Stop filled.
So great. I mean, I just got stopped out $90 minus, but that's because maybe I took the trade a little bit too hastily. I should have waited a little bit. My stop loss, by the way, is 50 points. So if I can't figure it out in 50 points, then I have to exit the trade, especially if I'm on a proprietary firm, right? So now we're retesting that level, or that we're retesting that position of trend. We might just continue to start chopping around inside of this box, which would be annoying. This would be a day that we would not be making good money. It's testing right now the 9. It's also testing the VWAP. We were below, so you would take shorts below. At the level, we have to wait and see what it does. Wow, TradingView is late as fuck. See, this is what happens when you would have taken another impulse trade, right? Although the markets are still pointing down, is the true trend bearish for the day? Yes, right now it is bearish. We're in a P3 to P4 consolidation. So that would mark a bearish territory. This would be favoring bearish shorts all day, every day. P3 consolidations are often met with P4. TradingView is a little laggy today. Wicking. We're wicking so hard right now. Staying patient. There's no need to not stay patient in this trade. Now, if the 5-minute closes here with a green candle, that would be not good. I do think we're going to get continuation, though. Maybe not. The tech stocks are wicking really weird. Up then down, up then down. Now we have a lot of bullish volume coming in. So bulls are fighting. They're fighting the charts, really. Bears are favored here to win, especially on a P3 consolidation. Yeah, look at that. They're fighting hard. All right, now we're back in the box. And what we'll do here, so we don't make another mistake, right? We don't want to cost ourselves more mistakes, so we learn self-control here. Here we go. We just don't trade inside of this box here. Is there a triangle? Rectangle, triangle. All right, so we're going to avoid trading this triangle here. We want a breakout of this triangle, but we don't want to trade inside of the triangle. Fair enough? I think that's pretty fair. Or else you're going to look like a trade like that. Okay, that's an exit on that trade. We're at the nearest level. So I entered here, regressed back to that nearest level. That's why I had to respect my stop loss. Now we're not trading anything inside of this box. This is what we know right now as the hoe zone. Anything inside of this box is just going to hoe us around. So we are going to wait very patiently now for something to break out of the hoe zone. What you can do now is set this box, right, this triangle, an alert. Pretty sure you can set an alert on it. You set an alert on everything. Fine. We'll set an alert here. 2511. We have to watch though, because I don't know why, but TradingView's been a little laggy this morning. And 2402. So those will be our two levels. Anything inside of the zone of MNQ right now, we're not going to trade. I'm not going to go homie hop to the other charts as well, because I want to focus on one for this morning. My analysis was on MNQ. I realize you could trade other tickers, but you have to be quick on your feet on this one. So I like to just stay consistent with at least one ticker or one stock that's going to net me some money. We're already down $90 for this morning, so I'm not going to go out of my way to make any trades that I'm going to lose money on at this point. Just be patient. Tech stocks are chopping still. All right, so that was the break. Trying to break those levels. You see how that triangle is now holding as like some sort of as a rising support and a declining resistance. I do think that it's looking and favoring maybe continuation with those shorts, but it's wicking out a lot of people right now. So let's just be patient. I'll give it 30 more minutes to take a trade, but look at that. That's just bullshit. That's not fun for any sort of trader, to be honest with you. That kind of price action. It's just garbage. Markets are not really giving me the strong continuation that we'd be looking for. Which to me just doesn't really look like a solid trading day, honestly. That's all. These are ugly markets. I might call it a day. 30 minutes is not really much, to be honest with you. If we're just going to keep chopping around like this, I have other things to do with my day. Markets are still shopping. Looks like we might get the continuation down now. Have to break this part, this test here, or else I don't want it. Basically at the lows for most of tech stocks right now. Nvidia is really not the one that's cracking. Nvidia and AGO. We have three of the major tech stocks right now that are not cracking down. Oh, there we go. We're getting the break. I just don't love it. Ugly charts, to be honest with you. Apple is trading inside of a little pendant. Amazon is down. AVGO pendant. Google is trading, I guess, down, but still kind of at where it started this morning. So it's not very impressive. So very divided right there. Meta is coming down, but now battling the lows for the day. Microsoft, same story. It's battling the lows for today, but not really pushing lower. So it's not giving me clear indication that anything would be short. What we might do is might retrace again here. Yeah, even the 15 chart, 15 minute looks ugly. be just a slow bleed today, which is difficult to make money on, honestly, especially on a proprietary firm. Nvidia started to break. Starting to get that continuation. I feel indifferent about getting into trades right now. Yep. Why did I tell you guys I felt indifferent? Watched it and then literally watched it retrace. Ugly charts. That's why. There's really nothing in the markets that's telling me that this is a very high confidence day, and we started the day by saying there wasn't going to be a lot of news. So why force the trade? All right, well, that's been an hour, guys. I don't really think that there's going to be a trade today, but then again, I might be, crazy. But we show up to the markets, we do our best. I'll set my alerts. We're underneath or at least outside of that closing area to look for shorts today. So maybe we get lucky, get another trade in. But until then, stay patient and maybe watch for the follow through on shorts.